Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing my final project slash book review on this book right here. This is called Before They're Gone, A Family's Long Quest to Explore America's Most Endangered Parks by Michael Lanza. I like how it has two of the main characters on the cover as well. So the book is about Michael Lanza and his trip with his family, his wife Penny, and his two kids, his 7-year-old daughter named Alex, and then his 9-year-old son named Nate. So the whole family, they all go on like different kinds of adventures throughout the whole country, everywhere from Alaska to Yosemite to the Everglades. They do a whole bunch of things together, and it's actually really cute how they kind of spend time together. They endure a lot of kind of not crazy but suspenseful moments, which I think honestly brings them closer together. So to start off, Michael's a very experienced skier, rock climber, hiker, basically knows majority of the national parks. Also, like, it's at the back of his hand. He knows them very, very well. He's very experienced. He's a very outdoorsy kind of guy. And he's noticed throughout the past couple of years that the national parks have been deteriorating. He's noticed that glaciers have been melting, winters have been not as cold as they used to be. There's been less snowfall, and then there's also been hotter winters. Also noticing things at the actual national parks, such as Yosemite's waterfalls, like slowly disappearing. He's also seeing kind of species and kind of wildlife being not as often encountering as much, which is also a sign of climate change and its effects. So he's noticed all of this, and he's like, basically, oh crap, this world is basically dying. I want to show my kids to appreciate beauty and to appreciate nature. So I'm going to show them basically what I do. I'm going to show them every single kind of national park there is in the United States, and I want them to appreciate it, and I want them to really kind of really think about what they're doing to the earth and how they're impacting on it. So that's basically Michael's spiel and reason to take his family on these kinds of trips. And I think in the end he definitely gets the result that he wanted. So to start off, they went backpacking in Grand Canyon. I'm also going to be showing pictures throughout just to kind of show you where they were exactly, kind of what it looked like, because I don't know if any of you guys have been to any of these places. They go to a lot of different places. So they start off backpacking in Grand Canyon. They then go backpacking around Mount Rainier, and then also the Rocky Mountains, and then along the Olympic coast as well. So they do a lot of backpacking. The first, I would say, third of their trip. It's a year-long trip, so a third of the trip they do a lot of those backpacking around those areas. From there, they actually go sea kayaking in Alaska's Glacier Bay, which I think is super cool. I've never been sea kayaking before, but I know it's a great adrenaline rush, and especially showing your kids that, I think it's a really good bonding moment as well. So they did the sea kayaking, and then they went actually hiking to Yosemite's waterfalls, what I mentioned earlier. They got to see. So this is Grand Canyon, just a snippet of what it would look like to go backpacking. This is the North Cascades, really beautiful scenery. I really love this picture with the lake and then the mountains. This is beautiful Mount Rainier during the springtime. Next, this is a top view of the Rocky Mountains. And then I really like this point of view showing sea kayaking in the Glacier Bay in Alaska. Really, again, super beautiful, super clear. Okay, next on their adventure, their little field trip, they actually go hiking at Yosemite's waterfalls, which I think was super special, not only for Michael but for his kids. It's a really beautiful spot to begin with, but just the fact that it's kind of slowly disappearing made his kids kind of like realize that moment where, like, oh my goodness, like the world is actually suffering and we need to do something about it. And I think that was the message Michael was trying to get across to his kids, and I think they really received that at that moment. So they went to the waterfalls. Then they actually went rock climbing at Joshua Tree National Park. This was a really cool experience for them as well, because I have learned rock climbing when I was younger, and that kind of adrenaline rush, and you're easy to move when you're that young. So I think the kids really enjoyed that. And then of course Michael kind of showing them how to do it was a really special bond between them. So from the rock climbing, they went skiing in Yellowstone, which again I think is super cool because I learned how to ski. My dad taught me when I was about Alex's age, like 7-ish, and ever since then I stuck with it. Like, I know how to do it to this day. So I think just skiing in general is super cool, and I'm really happy that Michael was able to show his kids that, because that's something that they'll remember forever no matter where they go. And then finally they went canoeing in the Everglades, which was, I think, again, really, really cool. I love just all outdoors activities, so I think everything that they did was really cool. But the Everglades in particular is super beautiful. That's a place that I've always wanted to go to, so I really enjoyed reading about what they did in the Everglades and their canoeing adventure. But those were all the places, and I'm just going to show the pictures now, and then we'll go in and talk about like the reflection and how it relates to the other books in the past. Here we have the waterfalls in Yosemite. I love how there's two different ones, so you can kind of get two different points of views and see its beauty. This is to show an example of what rock climbing would look like at Joshua Tree National Park, with the harness and the excess rope. They weren't doing it without any safety, so I thought this was really cool to show and to let you see. Another great point of view shot in Yellowstone. This would be an example of what skiing would look like. And then lastly, canoeing in the Everglades. Like I said, it's so beautiful. I would love to go here one day, but just again, little snippet of what it would look like. So the ending of the book kind of just closes out the reflection of the trip. And I feel like Michael really wanted to show the beauty of each and every single place that him and his kids went to, and of course his wife as well. But he also wanted them to kind of connect with that nature, and I feel like he really accomplished that, kind of just being a cute little tour guide, showing them around, doing all these activities, rock climbing, canoeing, skiing, all of it. I think really helped that bond, not only between Michael and his kids, but his kids and nature. So I think Michael really accomplished that really well. And then I really liked the way he closed it all in all, just by saying our kids are going to be living in the world that we create for them. So we got to do our best to kind of do what we can to save the planet, because it's really dying right now. And in order for our kids to live like a good, healthy, successful life, and for their kids to do the same thing. So I think that was a really great takeaway, kind of just really thinking about what we're doing day to day, even though we're like, oh, it's fine, it's not. Sorry, cut off, but basically saying like it's fine, it's not affecting us, but ultimately it's going to affect our kids. So just kind of thinking about that. In terms of relations to other book, I think this book that I have read is closest to Wild, just because Cheryl was able to stop at any time that she wanted to, and she kind of wanted to give up really early on, and I feel like the kids related to that when they wanted to give up, when things were too hard. They actually encountered a bear. Okay, so like when they got attacked by the bear, the kids wanted to give up, but they didn't. They like wanted to move forward. And this is most relatable to Cheryl because she did want to give up multiple times throughout her journey, but she didn't. She kept on being persistent and moving forward. And I think at the end, she was able to kind of appreciate everything a lot more, which was the same thing that the kids did too. And I think that connection between the two books made it really clear to me. And then also just appreciating nature. I think both Cheryl and then the kids and Alex were able to really appreciate the nature after they saw everything, and like realizing what humans are doing to Earth and how we affect Earth. So I liked both books. I honestly liked the book that I chose personally, just because it got the perspective of the whole family, not just one singular person, and the whole family trip, and was able to connect to that more. There was more like relationships and more bonding moments, which I really liked. And also I really liked how Michael was able to pass down these traditions with his kids. I think that was really cool too.